Okay, this is Greg Newsom again. This is the module number 6. And what I wanted you to take a look at here is this is where we kind of, unless you've had experience seeing how, say, Google and Shopify are set up in various sites like this, you may not know that this is different, but this is sort of like the flow, if you will. If you want to put in place a, say, website with products, SSL, and checkout, kind of think of that as Shopify, because even though it's an e-commerce site, it really could be considered a website. It all depends. In this case, let's just use that terminology. And for about the next few minutes, I'm going to let this pre-recorded explanation of this explain this to you, and it'll show you better, hopefully, than I could try to do just by verbally doing it.
So there are sort of 5 buckets of things to consider. Of course, you'll have your Shopify site with SSL, which comes by default. You'll have your checkout, everything's sort of set up there through Shopify. Well, then you have to get your product data into a data feed. So now that data feed can be created manual. It can be created through any number of tools. In this case, we're going to be using the Google shopping app from Shopify. But the data feed is the next thing to consider. That's sort of the next bucket. Now, once we have that data feed, now in our case, again, we're going to be using the Shopify app, so it's going to automatically sync to Merch Center. But once you have that data feed, it goes into Google Merch Center. Google Merch Center is sort of the platform that bridges your data feed to Google AdWords. So it's pretty simple. I'll go over that in detail. Now, Google AdWords, of course, it connects to Google Merch Center. Google AdWords is where you're creating the ads. So Merch Center feeds that product data and all your settings and everything into Google AdWords and says, here's your catalog. And then Google AdWords uses that catalog to run ads. Now, like I said, once you create those campaigns, that allows you to have a Google Shopping ad on Google. So that's sort of the high-level ecosystem. Now, to confuse you even more, I'm going to go over this in a little different order, because the order that you see here will sort of make a more logical sense in the setup process. So first, we're going to do the Google AdWords account. Next, the Google Merch Center account. Next, the data feed, and then finally come back and create the Google Shopping campaign. So this will sort of be this is sort of an overview of everything, and these 4 steps will be the 4 steps in creating your first Google Shopping campaign. So that concludes module 2.1. Next up will be...
Okay, and what is going to be important just to keep in mind here is that what we put into the Google Merchant Center, you want to make sure that, say, like, go back to your Shopify store, and if you recall the way your helpers had you set up things in module 3 and 4 where you entered in your banking information and you had to use your legal name. For example, I go by Greg, G-R-E-G-G, but my real name is Gregory. Okay, so if that is not the same in both Merchant Center and Shopify, that will cause an error. Okay, and you don't want that to happen. So you want to make sure that both your name, stuff like that, is the same in both. You want to make sure the name description of any products are identical. You don't want to have sort of abbreviations in one and then long spelling in another one. And the prices, that's the main thing. It needs to be the same. The other thing I can pass on here is to keep in mind that once things move from the feed over to the Merchant Center, you're going to probably be looking like at a 2-day hold period. And that's actually one of the few times when a human being takes a minute out of their day and takes a look at what you're advertising. That's where we get into looking at they look at Google policies and Shopify policies. They want to make sure that nothing's being sold that's not goes against their policies. And or like, for example, when we started out with module 3, we set up sort of a demo store. Okay, you don't want to be having stuff entering into the merchant center and the ads that is demo products. So that's why you want to get the LLC and get your first suppliers and products as soon as you can when you're into module 3 and module 4. The sooner you can get that moving, the sooner you can get the whole setup going. See how that the whole circle goes around there. We don't want Google Ads to be looking at Shopify with demo products in there. And that's all, a lot of that's computerized at that point. So what that happens, if that does happen, is Google will basically just like suspend your Shopify account until you get it straightened out. And it can be quite a hassle. I've never had it happen, but I've seen other people have it happen. And mainly because it's sometimes hard to get a hold of a human being. So you have to deal with computers, and they don't really understand that you're fixing things up, straightening things up. So I know that the people underneath me have helped you set stuff up. They may have enabled, let's say, I'm not quite sure at this point, since the part that's the Google Analytics is now moved to, like, they call it something like G4 Analytics. They may or may not have enabled that. It's really probably just a little snippet of code or a turn on of a switch, but there's a few things that we will not, set up on purpose because we don't want things shut down. But as soon as things are set up on, you got everything set up, even if it's past module 4, no problem. As soon as you can get things moving along, then when that's all kosher and we know everything's good, at least in your Shopify store, even if it has not moved to Merchant Center yet, then we can go ahead and connect those last pieces, let everything be, jiving, getting together, so sort of like that. And then once everything is configured, that's where even once this course ends, you'll be spending the first month or two to, get used to the Google AdWords, because that's a very important point of the overall process. We started out from going from the very beginning, picking niches, finding products, going through configuring all of these things here. That's what they're working on. A little bit more, actually, but these are the main parts here. Get all that set up, and then, going over how to find good suppliers. I gave you all the information. Usually people don't do that, but I did, so you could get things going. The real money will start coming to you in, say, month 3. That's where we're gonna, when I do this, same thing, $5,000 put into ad spend, because I know that money's going to be coming back to me, and same with you. And I have no problem if that's different from you for some reason, be the first time ever. I'm not going to give you back their money, but anything for the course, take it back. I don't care. Nobody under me is going to fail. I mean, it'd be pretty hard to, with everything I'm providing for you. But really, if you'll focus on your first store, it is a bit of a climb, new information. That's why I'm giving you all the screenshots, a little bit more longer videos than other courses. And one-on-one help from me, one-on-one help from all my expensive people under me that help you, because we want to make sure by the time you're done with the course that at least you have the fundamentals down, and then you need to spend that next really 6 weeks to 8 weeks building up your ad counts, Google Ads knowledge, and also getting the algorithm moving, getting your suppliers online for all that. And then by the month 3, when we bump that up to, say, 5,000, where we know we're going to be getting that money back, everything's going to be good. So that's the way this process works here. And I just wanted him to take a minute out of his time to show you how this all sort of fits together here. All right, take care. Talk to you later. Bye.